Hello. Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the court of the Edijester. As you all know, Labour Conference 24 has been underway, and it's been interesting watching some of what's going on. I don't have much interest in what they're doing apart from getting them out, but that's just me. However, what we've got here is something that I came across from Feminist Roar. Now, Feminist Roar, a stalwart fighter in the cause, has put up a tweet. Here it is. You can see. Now, before we start, come and join the Warrior Teachers. Buy me a coffee, the usual stuff. Yep. Starting in November. Can't wait. Let's get going. So what we've got here from Feminist Roar is the beginning of a sort of story that involves a couple of loons, as I call them. And Feminist Roar starts us off beautifully with two men claiming to not feel safe at Labour Conference 24 because women are talking about women's rights. 'Twas ever thus. Men using emotional blackmail and manipulation, trying to get women silenced, excluded, and punished. Same as it ever was, you see. Fortunately, it's 2024, not 1594, or for that matter, 2014. Great stuff there, Feminist Roar. We'll come to what they said in a minute, and you can see some of the comments below. We've got the marvellous Emma Hilton there, fond of Beatles. I would encourage both Georgia and Cllrs to come and chat with Labour Women's Declaration. I'd be happy to talk with both. And then Feminist Raw responded with, that's very gracious, but I don't think either of them want to talk, nor do they want you talking to anyone else. I'm so glad that you were there, though. Wishing you a big audience and many productive conversations. Now, see? So I thought, we'll have a look at this. What's this about then, eh? It piqued my interest. Well, here's the Labour Women's Declaration. Now, you all know as well as I do, I'm forever lambasting Labour as being hopeless, which they bloody well are, whether you like it or not. But these women are inside Labour. They're inside Labour and they're working to improve the lot of women inside Labour. Whether you like it or not, that's bloody commitment. I wish we had some gay people who were doing the same thing. We don't. So it's, easy to snipe. Not so easy to recognise the important work being done by the Labour Women's Declaration in an attempt to save a party that I personally think is past saving. But, that's just me again. So Labour Women's Declaration, coming to the Labour 24 conference and interested or curious about policy on sex and gender, call by our hashtag LWD Liverpool 24 stall in the exhibition hall anytime. Or to ask us about a specific topic area, see our pop-up with a Q&A schedule and the experts' biographies here. So there's a nice link if you want to see who was involved in their pop-up briefing. And then this seems to be some of the stuff that's upset these two men. One-to-one pop-up briefings, and look at this lineup of people that you can go and meet if you wish to on the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and the Wednesday. Lisa McKenzie, Sasha Rosansky, Dr. Emma Hilton, Fairness in Sport, Laura Pascal, Lewis Irvine, Lisa Marie Taylor, Rachel Cashman, Viv Poynton, Carol Angerhard, Dr. Louise Irvine, Kathy Devine there. Kathy, another stalwart fighter against the intrusion by men into female sports. LWD Scotland, Kiri Tunks, Teacher's Guide to Sex and Gender, important work being done there by Kiri, Shireen Benjamin, Lisa Marie Taylor, Viv Point and Carol Angerhard, LWD Cymru, so we've got the Scotch, Welsh and the English represented, and Laura Pascal, and these are all in the exhibition hall. If you've got the chance to go and say hello, go and say hello. I suppose you did. Did you? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. So that's the Let Women Speak declarations pop-ups, see? Things like defining sex in law, the lawfulness of local authorities, stand up for single-sex services, campaigning to make the Equality Act clear, which Labour Party said they won't. So they're going in there to fight against that. And also the cash review covered as well. So I thought, well, who the hell are these two blokes that are unhappy that Labour women are having a chat and talking to other people, which of course is what upsets them the most once their grift becomes obvious. So I thought I'd go and have a look. Well, the first one is called Cllrs Self. So I thought I'll have a look. Oh dear, I can't have a look. I'm blocked by Cllrs Self. So I'm unable to find out much about Cllrs Self. However, thankfully, stalwart scrapper, comedian, and all-round curmudgeon, Graham Linehan, saves the day. And he's got a piece here from April the 29th, 2024, which looks at some of the people involved, Cllrs Self being one of them, in the Southmead elections in Bristol. And there we've got Cllrs there, you can see. So I'll put all the links to this down in the doobras as usual, so that you can see the things that Cllrs been saying and what Cllrs looked at. during the by-election there in Bristol, and we can see Kaz pouting as one would expect. So there's that. So that was Kaz self there. Couldn't look. Good pre-block, Kaz. And somebody who's not got me blocked, but I've got them blocked, called Georgia Meadows. Now, this is Georgia Meadows. Let's start with this with his thingy bobby. Where is he? Oh, I have to click on it. Hang on. Georgia Meadows. Let's go to that first. So there's Georgia Meadows, right? Hello, Georgia. It's just a bloke, isn't it? Just some lumpen bloke. Yeah, it's just a lumpen bloke, right? So there's Georgia, okay? And Georgia says, I just had to listen to some applause as a member of Labour Women's Declaration turned a motion regarding women's health into a speech to restrict my right to freedom of expression. How does a speech about women's health affect you as a bloke, Georgia? Tell me. You know? Georgia Meadows. Right, okay. I faced issues that would be relevant to this discussion, but I feel terrified to speak up. There is absolutely nothing that you have faced that is relevant to women's health, you silly man. What makes you think there is? And then Georgia also put up, I certainly don't feel safe. Some of them are making me deeply uncomfortable. Why, Kaz? Because you're not a woman. I think so. Not Kaz, Georgia, because you're not a woman. And then Kaz, we can see something that Kaz is responsible to. This group should not be allowed at conference. Not sure I'm going to feel safe. Oh, yeah, let's do the censorship thing just because you've been pointing out the fact that you're two blokes attempting to get yourself into women's spaces. Cut it out, you pair of weirdos. I certainly don't feel safe. Some of them make me. I hope they make you uncomfortable, George. Or Georgia, whatever your name is. And then he's got a few responses have come up to that. Look, see? Solidarity, Georgia, from the LGBTQ plus cooperators. I hope there was also dissent for what was said. And Georgia said there seemed to be silent dissent. It was so much dissent he couldn't hear it. It's just laughable, right? So that's where we're at with that. And then up gets not my favourite person in the world, Bridget Phillipson MP, who I think is a bloody disgrace. In her speech today, Bridget Phillipson MP remarks Georgia Meadows said that the party will protect single-sex spaces and ensure trans people receive support as well. It worries me deeply that she chose to make a distinction between what? Men and women? For God's sake, Georgia, whatever your name is, Georgia Meadows. It worries me deeply that she chose to make a distinction. Is the party going to bar trans people from spaces we've been using for decades? First off, right, the ones that have been using spaces for decades are the gusset fumblers and the AGPs. And no, we're not barring trans people. We're barring men because you're a man, right? Along with, here, bloke, all right, bloke, blokey bloke. Okay, just in case you don't get it, and if you want to know more about blokes, okay? Georgia didn't feel safe, right? Didn't feel safe. I was upset with Bridget because she's, said that she's going to support women's rights. And then we've got the comments. Let's have a look, see what the quotes are on this, because some of these are quite fun. And progressive misogyny is quoted. She, her, youth officer, wants to access women-only spaces. What a lumpen dolt. Male transsexuals have been barging into women's toileting and changing spaces for decades, says Deckmate. What they haven't been doing is pretending they are actually females. Do a spot in women's rosters from prisons to sport. Stop pretending and stop demanding. The answer is no. There we go. The answer is no. Oh, it's great, isn't it? And then Sebastino Marinaio said, it worries me you deeply that your ability to get off violating women's spaces may be restricted. Never mind that she's willing to support trans people, most likely with their own spaces. It was never just about going to the bathroom, and it was always about access to women's spaces. Well, interesting, Sebastino. There should be no space. There are two spaces, male and female. You're either male or female. There's no in between. If you're having a job, remember that. If you're having a job, remembering that there are no in between. Then just to remind you, bloke. More on blokes. Blokey bloke. Right? The blokey blokes are out in force. They want the women's space, of course. So in terms of the Labour Party's declaration, they're there talking about what women's needs are. They're talking about women's need for safe spaces. They're talking about women's need for sport that is separated by sex to allow for fairness, because thousands of men have done them out of their prizes. And it's disgusting that they have and the government's done nothing. And what we got? The lumpen Georgia Meadows and the fragrant Councillor Kaz Self, both of whom are, of course, blokey blokes. All right? That's enough. Let's see what you make of it. Put a comment there for me. Become a warrior teacher. All the usual stuff. And I shall see you in the next few days. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.